Everyone here to the Smash Sport Show right here on Smash FM here on Lockdown Friday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's turn our attention to the World Game and speak to two of the under-16 players for Southern United. And of course, they join us right now. Of course, their names is Emily and Reese. They join us right now. Thanks, both of you, for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Now, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position you both play on the field.
So I'll go first. I'm Reese McKenna and I play striker for the under-16s.
I'm Emily Ryan and I play centre defence and fullback for the under-16s.
Now, you started the season back in February, and I think you played 4 games before the lockdown, the first one. I guess, how was the season looking from the first 4 games?
Emily? I didn't play them, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Reese wasn't there for the first 4 games, I don't think. They were all right. I think we were still trying to gel together as a team and try to get used to how each other plays. Yeah.
Now, my question I'm going to ask is to both of you. With the team haven't played at all since March, I guess how difficult has it been for both of you to not be on the field right now?
Well, look, when I came back from just after the first 4 games were played, I think at training we all started to train really well. Deb was including more running and more skill-based, and we looked really good. So I think we were all really pumped to get back into it, and unfortunately we couldn't, but we were starting to look really good.
Yeah, definitely missing it a lot. I think after the first lockdown, when we went back to training, we were all really excited to get going again, but then sadly we've gone back into lockdown.
I'm going to ask the most silliest question I'm going to ask, because I asked the same question to Georgia, your teammate in the under-16s, about 2 days ago, which is, do both of you miss your teammates and do you still communicate with them?
So yeah, I miss them a lot. I mean, we're all just such a different girls, and we all just gel so well. Like, it's just so fun to be around each other. I still speak to some of the teammates again on social media.
Yeah, I'm missing everyone a lot. I think not being with the girls is really weird because I'm so used to seeing them almost every day. And yeah, I'm still talking to a bunch of people on social media.
Now let's talk a bit about the team itself. Obviously there's a couple of new players in that team, but tell us how special was the team going to be this year?
Yeah, it was going to be a lot different than the other years, because I think most of the girls have been playing for a while, and then all of a sudden we've lost some players and we've got some younger girls coming up. It was going to be really different, but also still good. You know, we still got Deb, the same coach, to put our little good trainings with us, and yeah, it was going to be fun.
Yeah, I think it was definitely going to be a bit different because we were getting some new girls from different clubs, and we lost a few girls as well. And same thing as Reese said, we still had Deb, and she's such a good coach, and I think that really made a big difference as well.
Tell us a bit about your amazing coach, Deb. Obviously, she's won a couple of premierships coaching Southern, and obviously I've seen pretty much all of them, all the premierships that you've won under Deb. Tell us, how special has Deb been, and what have you learnt from having an amazing coach, but also an awesome player in her own right when she played?
Yeah, when I first moved to the club, I think Deb was just a standout coach. She taught us everything from the start. I mean, from such young ages, me and Emily came into the club and we just basically learned all our skill from Deb. And she just, not only as a coach, but just her values as an actual person is just spread on all of the girls. I think we've all matured and became better people just around Deb, especially her as a player. You know, she was a little gun back in the day representing Australia. So, yeah, always has those stories to tell us every training as well.
Yeah. When I first came to the club, I came from this like little community club where we only scored like 1 goal a season. And despite that, Deb really pushed me to work hard, and she taught me like everything I know. And I think her being like such amazing player that she was really like rubs off on us as well. And you can tell that she was a player by how she motivates us.
Now, as I mentioned before, I spoke to your teammate Georgia, who's all the way from Gippsland 2 days ago. Tell us how special it was to have someone from Gippsland coming to join the team and play for the team this year.
When I was there, I was only there for a couple trainings, but when I was there, she was always upbeat. I think to have that as much as commitment as she did to travel away from Gippsland to training obviously showed her commitment to the club and to the team. So to have her be enthusiastic to every session, she had a smile on her face and was able to put other smiles on other teammates' face, just showed what kind of person she was.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think Georgia is a really like encouraging, enthusiastic player, and that rubs off on the people around her as well. And like Reese said, the commitment of driving like 3 hours, 3 days a week to come and train is really cool.
Now, I'm going to ask the most silliest question I'm going to ask, but how special is to play with each other?
I think so. I think we take it for granted a little bit too much, honestly. I mean, to be able to play with each other, I think for 4 years, 3 times a week, and then all of a sudden it's gone and it's very different. We all miss it as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, not seeing each other 3 days a week is definitely a big change, and I feel like we definitely did take that a little bit for granted because we didn't realize that one day it could have been taken away just like that, and that's what happened.
Now, I guess for both of you, have you had a chance to sort of reset any goals that you want to reach in the World Game now, considering that you haven't been playing for almost 5 months?
I think for me, it was all about my fitness. I still wanted to be as fit as I was back then. When I wanted to come back, I think my goal was just to not be sluggish in the field and have that excuse that, I was stuck in my house. I still wanted to be fit, be able to run throughout the park each game.
Yeah, definitely the same sort of thing, wanting to keep fit during isolation and now I just really understand like how much I actually miss soccer just because it's been taken away from me.
Pretty much answer my next question, which is, what have both of you been doing in isolation to keep your playing fitness going, hoping that the season restarts very soon?
Just been doing heaps of running, sprint work, long distance, and been fortunate enough to actually get some weights in and get some gym equipment so I can create myself a little home gym. So I've just been doing some gym work, a lot of squats, yeah, just any fitness really I could fit in.
Yeah, I've been running on the treadmill whenever I can, taking the dog for a walk, and I've been lucky enough to have some one-on-one trainings with Melissa Maisels, and I think that was really good.
For both of you, how did both of you get involved in the World Game and why did you choose it?
For me, I think it was a big influence from my dad and brother who also played soccer. I've got an older brother who played when he was young. Dad played for a long time throughout his career. And also he was the one who's coached me before Deb. So yeah, I think it all started from there.
Yeah, mine was definitely from my brother as well. Like, I grew up with going to his games every week, and I just saw how much he enjoyed it, and I wanted to give it a go for myself.
Now, I know I'm going to ask the most silliest question I'm going to ask again, knowing I know the answer would be for both of you, which is, What would be a particular highlight or moment throughout both your footballing journey so far?
Has to be us winning the premiership and the league. I think it was the first or second year. That was definitely a highlight.
Yeah, definitely winning that grand final in 2017.
Now, I was at that grand final in 2017 and saw his play and actually got to interview the whole team that year after the game. Tell us a bit about that year and I guess how special was that team in particular?
Yeah, that year was a bit different because obviously Deb wasn't there for our grand final. So I think all of us just had that little thing in the back of the head saying like, although we should do this for ourselves, I think we owe it to Deb a bit. I think she was in England for some reason. So yeah, all of us. And it was also her birthday. So we're all just thinking, as much as we love Deb, some of this should be like, we should also be trying really, really hard for her and for ourselves.
Yeah, with Deb not there for our grand final, I think we all had that like extra motivation saying like, oh, we have to win this. And yeah, we did.
I'm going to ask the most serious question as well on top of that, which is when did you all felt that you won the grand final and when did it hit that you won the grand final and obviously your normal coach Deb wasn't there?
So I remember most of it. I think our first goal was like they sort of like made it as like it was like a fluke goal because Taylor Hennecum just sort of chipped one in and the goalkeeper spilled it and it just trickled in and we didn't even know it was a goal. Then all of us just started going ballistic and then after that, Candace absolutely struck one in the top corner. I think from then, our defense was just on key. Everything was on point. I think there was about 10 minutes left, and by then we knew we had it. But we all just tried to remain calm and just keep on playing.
Yeah, definitely towards the end of the game, I think everyone was just like, oh, we've got this. And we kept working really hard to win it. For me, it didn't really hit that we actually won the grand final until like a week later. And I was like, oh, we won.
Now, did the team do anything, I guess, for Deb on the day? Did you make a phone call to her to say that you won?
I remember. I think we either did record a message or I remember saying happy birthday. I think I actually said happy birthday on the radio to you or it was to Deb. I can't remember. But I definitely knew we recorded some sort of message for her. I think also Braxy took a couple videos of us celebrating in the change rooms as well.
I remember taking a few videos.
How long did you wear your medals around your necks that day?
Mine didn't come off me, honestly. I think I wore it for like just around the house, bragging to my brother and my dad. Just showed them what we all did. It was stuck on there. It took me a while to take it off, really. I'm surprised I didn't sleep with it on.
Yeah, same. Kept that thing on. Probably wore it to school, to be honest.
Now, what does the World Game mean to both of you, and especially playing for Southern?
Look, Southern was just really different to what I used to play. I used to play a little club, Sky, then all of a sudden moving to an all-women's club. The culture was really different. We're all just around each other. Yeah, it was really different to what I used to play. And I think Southern is just a big, different club, really.
Yeah, for me, it was definitely also very different to what I was used to playing. Like, I came from a tiny little community club where we didn't win a game the whole season, and then coming to Southern and playing like with really good, really skilled girls was very different. And it was just such a good atmosphere, and it was really, really good to move to Southern.
Now, obviously, the 2023 Women's World Cup is in Australia in 3 years' time. I guess when both of you heard the announcement, I guess what did it mean to both of you? And I guess And have you convinced any of your friends at school to get involved in football after the announcement?
I think the whole announcement is going to be a change to the women's game, really. You know, from when Deb was playing, it wasn't really such a big thing, and then all of a sudden, Deb was like the foundation of the game, and then it's just spiked up to what it's now, and all of a sudden we're holding the World Cup. Yeah, and to be honest, my friends don't really play a lot of sport, so I always just try and encourage them just to watch soccer if they can, honestly.
Yeah, I remember like we were watching when it was announced, and I remember the noise that came out of my mum's mouth. She yelled so loud, and it was just like it was a really big deal getting to, like, for Australia, especially for the women's game, to be able to host such a big event.
And both of you thinking about going to a game in Melbourne once it's down here? And is there a particular team that you would love to watch?
I think if I can just get down there, I think I'll be able to watch any game, really, any team. I'll be thrilled anyways.
Yeah, same. If I could watch the Matildas, that would be amazing.
And do either of you have a favourite Matilda player?
I mean, to be honest, not really. I think every player has a unique style, unique values to them. I think I like watching them all play together instead of just an individual player. Although one might be a standout in each game, the way they just play together, it's just very eye-opening.
Oh, wow, that was a very good answer. I like Steph Catley and Ellie Carpenter, but also I agree with what Reese said.
Yeah. It's also good as like for us girls, Southern, just to be able to watch them play and be able to take aspects or keys out of their game to try and implement to our game. Also with Deb always comes and just gives us a little debrief of the Matildas game normally at training anyway. So yeah, always make sure we keep up with the scores and help with the games. Otherwise, we get in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what have both of you have a short or long term goals in the sport of the world game for yourselves?
I think for me, long term or short term, as long as I can keep playing it, for me, it's more of a culture thing. Soccer's different to any other sport, just the culture with all the girls. I mean, can't really beat that. As long as I keep on playing it throughout, you know, when I'm older, my work, my other sports, I'll be happy.
Yeah, definitely for me, just want to keep playing for as long as I can. And even if like after I have to stop, like similar to Deb, wanting to coach some girls and introduce them into this really good game.
And what would be your advice to girls out there that should get involved in the world game?
No regrets, really. Just do it. Like, you're not going to really think, the thing is, if you're not going to do it, you're going to be missing out on something. Even if you do it and you don't want to play the next year, that's fine. Like, as long as you give it a shot. If you don't give it a shot, you're not going to know if you don't like it or not. That was always my theory to things.
Yeah, definitely. Just give it a go and always work hard and give it your all. I definitely recommend joining a soccer club as soon as you can.
Now let's finish up with a couple of light-hearted questions about the team. Firstly, now both of you mentioned that you both have siblings that play the sport. Now I'm going to ask this question: who's the better football player?
I think I'm going to give it to my brother, just because he's played for longer and he's a bit older. But saying that, I could catch up very soon.
Yeah, obviously I'd like to say I am, but that's probably not true because my brother is also a lot older than me and he's been playing for a really long time. But I do beat him sometimes.
Now, who has the most embarrassing moments on the team this year and what was it?
I mean, I wasn't there for a lot of it, but I'm just guessing it's going to be Danitza. That's just my guess. Even my couple sessions there, I'm like, oh my God, she still hasn't changed. She's still crazy. She's still psycho. But we all love her. She brings that vibe to the team.
Not much has happened. Not many embarrassing things have actually happened this year. A few people might have forgotten their boots to a game, though.
What I knew Danitza was going to be answering one of these questions. Now, I've got a feeling Danitza might be involved in my next couple of questions, which is, who's the comedian on the team?
Probably Danitza. I think everyone has their own sort of humour in their own way. Danitza's obviously crazy, outgoing. Then there's, other girls who just have their own sort of jokes, but the team still finds them funny. Everyone just is friends with each other. So I think when everyone cracks a joke, everyone just laughs and thinks it's funny anyways. But Danitza's just unique humour. No one will beat her.
Yeah. Danitza's definitely the comedian of the team.
Who's the best singer or dancer in the team? Now, I know there's this thing called TikTok, so I'm assuming there's a couple of players involved in that. So tell us who's the best singer and dancer in the team.
Dancing, I think everyone busts a move out in training when Deb's not watching. And I think singing, no one really sings in our team except for the team song, which then again, hardly anyone ever sings anyway. But I think, yeah. Danitza doesn't really dance or sing, so I don't know if that can be awarded to her or not.
I mean, from what I've seen in the change room, Reese, you're a good dancer yourself.
Emily stitched me up.
I'm pretty sure Georgia said the same answer too. So I think she stitched you up too, Reese. Have either you done, like during isolation lockdown, have either you found a hidden talent that you didn't think you have?
Oh, I've learned I can make my bed every morning. Didn't know I could do that. I've actually got really nothing else to do, so I thought I should make my bed every morning, but that's about it.
I should learn from you. Mum would say the same thing. I haven't really found any talents.
Now, as I mentioned before, I know this is a thing called TikTok. Have either you got involved in that, and what's the best one that both of you have done?
Hey, I used to make some, but I never posted them. I think the best one I did was the Sid the Sloth dance, and actually, when I went to a cricket tournament, I had the nickname of Sid because apparently I would just execute it so well because I'm a great dancer, like Emily said. But no, I don't use it anymore, but I love watching it. I love seeing people's humour and everything. It's funny.
Yeah, I used to make videos as well. Don't really do that anymore. But I don't know, just dancing with my friends is fun. And I watch a lot of TikTok, probably too much, to be honest.
I can agree with that as well.
Yeah. I love seeing...
It's addicting.
It is. It's very addicting.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having you both of you on the show. Obviously, we would love to be talking a bit more about the season, but obviously with what's been happening, we can't do that just yet. But hopefully, once we all get out of lockdown and obviously get on to the playing field, hopefully you can get to play the rest of the season. And let's hope we get to see Southern back in the finals and hopefully win another premiership. If it's not this year, next year.
Yes, that'll be amazing.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No worries. And that's Reese and Emily there from Southern United's 16 Girls NPL women's team. Of course, once the season starts, hopefully we'll get to see these two amazing players in action. Of course, make sure you get out there and support Marty's, the Southern team in 2020 or 2021. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away. Here on the Friday Lockdown Edition.